So hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. This is an episode we want to record, but we didn't want to learn how to do it. Meaning, this episode is about how struggling as an artist makes you a better artist. And we don't want to do this because it means we're struggling, but at the same time, our art is getting better and more efficient.
So when you say struggling how so?
Oh, right now struggling, not economically.
Financially?
Struggling financially, because there's certain things we buy for our art career that we're not buying right now because money's a little tight. So we have to come up with different ways to build our art or finish our art or art. You know.
That old chestnut.
That old chestnut.
So for example, whenever I do sanding, I usually sand with my orbital sander, and I have 80 grit sandpaper. I'm running out of 80 grit sandpaper, so I started using the old sandpaper until it was completely gone. Surprisingly, it's still working. It still has a lot of tooth left, so it's still sanding. Another thing that I did where I didn't think it would work so well is I have a little belt sander. And usually when I sand stuff, like I say, I use the orbital sander, but yesterday I used the belt sander and it actually worked a lot faster than hand sanding. So just because I'm a tight Pollock and I didn't want to buy more sandpaper, it actually went better for me because I sanded it faster and more efficiently since using the belt sander.
You did it more, better, gooder?
More, better, gooder. Did you have any revelations in struggling as an artist that made your art better?
As far as producing it, I'm running out of certain colors of glazes and I don't want to buy more just because I want to try and use up what I have and get creative with what I have left. Kind of taking a risk by experimenting on not just test tiles, but like good quality finished pieces. I'm experimenting with different glaze combos. Some are good, some are not so good. But I'm actually finding some stuff that I don't know if I would have otherwise found, or if I would have found at this point in my career. I may have stumbled upon it later when I had umpteen million colors to choose from versus just some.
So glaze combos.
Yeah. I have to itch my nose on my knee, so give me just a second. I don't know if you can see it or not.
I'm sure we can zoom up on you.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Better. Like for paintings, I'm trying to having a bunch of canvases or boards that you made ready with their images by them. That way when I'm up there, it's just boom, it's ready to go. I don't have to take the time to try and figure out, well, what am I gonna do and what size am I gonna paint it on? So that's just a way of being more efficient regardless of a situation, I think. Again, when time is money, that saves a little time in figuring out composition on size and type.
So having all of your materials ready so when you want to paint, you just paint.
You just go.
Boom. Another way that I, as a woodworker, figured out how to be more efficient is when I'm making a lot of the same things, such as my favorite thing I make is cutting boards. It's not my favorite thing, everybody. I don't think too hard when I make the cutting boards. I just cut a bunch of boards all to the same length, and then I do my woodworking thing where I flatten them so the glue joint's nice, and then I just put them together kind of willy-nilly, if that's a phrase that kids nowadays still use.
Because you're so...
I'm so old. I'm the oldest guy on YouTube, everybody.
I'm old!
Prove me wrong. But when I make cutting boards, I just whip them together and glue them up, and they still turn out nice. And then of course when it comes to sanding, that sucks a lot of my time. I let a lot of my big machines do most of it instead of the hand sanding that I was so used to. And again, I wouldn't have known to do that if I wasn't running out of certain materials that I normally use. So thank you, struggling in life. You made me a better artist. Another thing that you artists might learn out there is when you struggle, it forces you to think about other income sources. It also forces you to think about other things you want to do that you may not have thought you wanted to do. An example is, since we live out in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, we're trying to make our place a destination, meaning we always thought that we wouldn't be able to give lessons or sell out of the house just because of where we were located, and it would always be better in a city because there's other things to do. People have told us several times that we have such a cool place that people want to come here. It's also better that it's not in town or a city because They don't have other things on their mind, such as, well, when we're done doing pottery here, we're gonna go shopping, or I have to go buy groceries, so I'm gonna cut this visit short. They can just come here and focus, and we never thought about that before. So when you start thinking about having a house in a location that's not
Urban?
urban, that's not a good place for people, you start thinking, how can I make this where people want to come by? And we would have never thought of that if we didn't try to get people out here and make this a destination. If we were really comfortable in our art and our business, we would have said, yeah, it's not important, we'll just sell it online or at one of the galleries we're in. So that's another way that struggling makes you a good artist.
You would think they would get bored out here, but I think for some people, especially some that may live in suburbia or the city, they might want to just get away where it's quieter, even if it's for a 3-hour workshop. Again, we wouldn't have known that if some of our good friends didn't mention that. It's like it put it in a different perspective with a third-party set of eyes.
A last example I guess I could have is I'm designing some bigger items right now, and I'm using materials that I already have. In the past, I would look at something, design it, and then buy a certain special material or a piece for what I'm thinking of, just because it was in my head and I wanted to make that come alive. But now, since we're struggling, it's forcing me to sit there and say, hey, you have these materials already here, use them. And I tell myself, okay, I will. It's fun because it gives me new designs that I didn't think of previously, but at the same time, people say struggling is good because this video, struggling is good, it makes you a better artist. But nobody wants to struggle. So if people are telling you, oh yeah, struggling's good for you, it is, but they don't tell you that it really sucks. And the stuff that you read in a book where it says, you're gonna struggle, they don't tell you for how long. It could be a day, it could be months, it could be years. And it all depends on your situation. So for you people out there, if you're starting an art career or you're in an art career, you're gonna struggle. I don't know how long. The only way you fail is if you give up. But it's really easy to give up because you think about that crap every day. It's like, I don't want to struggle anymore. I'm just gonna go back to this job because it's safe. It's secure. I have money in a jar on top of my fridge. I want to put more money in that jar.
I keep it in a jar on top of my refrigerator.
And that kind of stuff.
Do you have any regrets right now at this point?
No regrets. It's just a bank account type of regret, but I also know my financial situation is temporary. It changes. And we have an opportunity to make a year's worth of income in just a couple of purchases. Whereas in any other career we could get, that doesn't happen. It's the same income no matter if you're good at it or if you're bad at it. But we have the kind of skill and the kind of art that we make. We could make like a house payment for 6 months in one item we make. And that's exciting because we've seen it happen to other artists. And it can happen to you too.
And it can happen tonight for all of you.
I've seen it. It can happen. It's real.
One of the hardest parts, just trying to find the person out there that is gonna like your work.
The hardest part is trying to find where your art is going to sell. Because every time you make something, it's gonna sell. It's money in the bank. You just don't know where to sell it, or who to sell it to, or the right time of day, or anything. So you're just experimenting. Because there's no book that tells you how to sell your art, where you're gonna, and all that crap, okay? So read books, they're good, but at the same time, they don't know you.
So is it like Gamble chocolate?
Yeah, it's like Valentine's Gamble chocolate. You might get one that has, a caramel. Another one's like, toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
But anyways, that's our video. It's just understand when you struggle, you're gonna change the way you art, and it's gonna make you a better person, a better artist, and stronger individual overall as long as you don't let it defeat. All right, I'm gonna say that again. As long as you don't let it defeat you. Because once you do, you might as well just go back to being a mute.
Oh my God.
So for our patrons out there, thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you because you make the struggling a little less struggly. That's a thing, it's a word now, everybody. And for everybody else, thanks for watching. We appreciate you watching and every little thing you do. I don't know if that's a police song or not. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I did have more to add, but you're so quick, I would lose it. Because you can always filter it in.
Yeah, I'll filter it. I'll put it through a coffee strainer. What is going on over there?
I have like a cat hair up in my nose and I can't use my hands. So it's up in there because I snorted Nimbus here because he's sitting there judging me.
Off the rails video. So what's your thought?
I'm trying to remember it now. Wow. I would say on a daily basis, I wonder if I have certain regrets. Not all regrets, but yeah, financially is probably at the top of the list. It is sometimes very hard to create when you are not financially healthy because you have that worry always tugging at the back of your brain. So then you're like, then you get the imposter syndrome where you're just.
Oh, did I lose you?
What?
You stopped in mid-sentence.
I know. I'm trying to. You get imposter syndrome where you feel like you're a hack, you don't know what you're doing, you don't belong here, you should just go back to your factory job or whatever you had. Like, yes, I have regrets and it's hard to fight your brain because your brain is stupid.
So everybody, this is the actual end of the video. We've been sporadic in this, but
That's because we keep coming up with things we wish we would have said, and I'm sure that's going to happen even after this.
Yeah, we keep thinking of things, but this one we felt was important just with conversations we've been having with people lately. One of the things that makes struggling for the artist a very good thing is you get experience with struggling. So what I mean by that is when other artists that haven't experienced the struggle yet, they ask you what to do, you have that experience and knowledge to share with them. It's a little comforting on both ends because you find out that it's not just you. I mean, sorry everybody, you're not special.
Well, it's nice to know you're not alone.
And it's also nice to be able to help other artists out.
People in general.
Yeah, people in general, because we're nice, god.
Maybe a little salty, but yeah.
A little salty sometimes, but we're in Wisconsin and salt's spicy.
If you think about it, without struggle, there's no progress. That's the sucky part, is you want progress, you're gonna struggle to get there.
It is sucky because you want to succeed, you want to be successful, but we're finding out that in order to be successful, you got to struggle. And that sucks.
Because you don't get success immediately.
You don't. So it's the 3 S's of art. Success, struggle, and suck. I don't know if that should be a t-shirt, everybody, but there you go.
Copyright that.
So this is the actual end of the video because we could just keep coming up with more and more, but we wanted to record this because we felt it was quite important. So for everybody out there, especially you artists, we hope you learned a little bit that struggling is normal. You're gonna experience it.
It's real, people. You know, don't give up. You can swear the whole time, just don't give up.
It's like Sia says.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We do appreciate you. And for all our patrons out there, we appreciate you even more, better, gooder, because you help us out all the time. So thank you very much. We do appreciate you and for watching all the videos and being our support. The struggle, success, and suck. There's also a 4th S, support.
They support us not just for what we make, but who we are.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.